York City has a new message for illegal immigrants. Go someplace else. Oh, they're overwhelmed. And it's nothing compared to Texas or other border states. Now, city officials, they're now passing out a flyer to illegals warning them that New York is one of the most expensive cities in the world and that they are way better off going to a far less expensive place to live. Now, the new development, but by the way, they don't give free five-star hotels. Our veterans are homeless. They don't get any help, but you're an illegal immigrant, you're in a 4- or 5-star hotel in New York. Anyway, this comes as Texas Governor Greg Abbott visits the city of New York to speak about the border crisis with a stark warning for people in New York. New Yorkers, I know you're probably out drinking and committing crimes, but take a look, those of you that are watching.
What you're dealing with in New York, what you are seeing and witnessing in the state, is a tiny fraction of what is happening every single day in the state of Texas.
All right, and meanwhile, just to the south of here, look at Philadelphia. Look what happened just a couple of nights ago. City suffering through two-night out-of-control looting. And last night, look at your screen, screens, windows broken, shelves emptied, total chaos. But it's all just another day in a big blue city or state, isn't it? Joining us right now, his first studio appearance ever. Let's give a warm welcome to Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Here you go, Governor. He's the star quarterback. So, by the way, we've been friends forever. Right. I think the world of you. You know, it's very interesting. You invited Mayor Adams and other New York politicians to come to the border and see the border for themselves. They didn't come. Then all of a sudden they realize it's going to cost $12 billion in 18 months. It's costing $40,000 per illegal immigrant in New York. And now even the governor's saying, if you're going to come in the country illegally, don't come here. Wow, how they changed their tune.
Exactly. So what we've seen is when Democrats have to face up to the reality of what Texas has to deal with every single day, they adopt the same approach that Texas has. We need the president to start enforcing the immigration laws of the United States of America, period. And we're not going to tolerate what's going on.
You know, it's even worse than not enforcing it. The president has been aiding and abetting in the law breaking. You know, I saw that they were cutting holes in the wire that you're footing the bill to put up to protect your state and the cities, the border cities.
John, in all my life of public service, I've never seen anything like what happened this past week with what Joe Biden did, because Texas has built mile after mile after mile of concertina razor wire barrier to prevent illegal immigrants from coming in, and it worked. They stopped coming in.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Biden's Border Patrol used wire cutters to cut it open it up, and thousands came in. They are aiding and abetting illegal entry into the United States.
Now, all they want to do, it seems, is take you to court. Are they giving you any money, any financial support?
Nope.
No. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You have tried. I have watched you. You built caravans. You've sent more agents in. You brought your own people down there. You've put up barriers. And every time you try to protect the people of your state, they won't allow you to enforce what is the law of this country.
Right. So I'll tell you the most innovative thing that we did were those buoys in the water. They were kind of designed and created by the Border Patrol themselves. And the Border Patrol under Trump said they would work. And you know what? They do work. And so we put them in the water. No one has crossed across those buoys. We're in a lawsuit right now. If we win that lawsuit, we're going to have hundreds of miles of buoys as a border wall in the state of Texas.
Okay, that's really important. But can I ask you, if I gave you the amount of money that they're claiming it's going to cost the illegal immigrant issue in New York City, for example, in New York State, and they're actually thinking about, only New York can think of this because they're so dumb. They actually want an illegal immigrant new tax. So they want citizens to pay for their amnesty, their sanctuary status. I mean, by the way, another reason to get the hell out of here.
This is easy math. Think of the dollars that New York is spending on these migrants. If they take that same money and put it into building the border wall, securing the border, New York would not be dealing with the crisis they're dealing with right now.
You know, and recently Mayor Adams, now you've invited Mayor Adams to come visit, and interesting, he won't come. Are you have any chance to meet with him?
I'll tell you a funny story because...
I love funny stories.
So the city of New York was beside itself about all these migrants being bused to New York City. And so Mayor Adams sent operatives down to the border to see what was going on. And all these migrants were in a room about this size, and they went in there and asked them, who here wants to go to New York? Thinking that no one would do it. Everyone raised their hand, and they about passed out because they knew what was coming.
Word got out. They're putting them in 4 or 5-star hotels. Why not? I'd take that deal, right? But the reality is there's a lot of human suffering here. You know, we have, while you have to put all your resources and concentrate on the areas where you have as many. We had a record this past week, 11,000 in a day, 10,000 the day before. And all the resources are going to these areas, a high concentration where it's happening. That gives the drug cartels and the human traffickers free rein to continue their multi-billion-dollar enterprises that are killing our kids.
Correct. And it's not just border states. Here in New York City, last week, a 1-year-old child died because of exposure to fentanyl.
Oh,
it's deadly across the entire country. Get this. The Texas Department of Public Safety alone has seized more than enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in the entire United States of America. It's deadly and dangerous.
If any of these New York politicians have any guts, would you debate Governor Hochul? Would you debate Mayor Eric Adams? Because he was claiming you're responsible for all the illegal immigrants. No, your buses are responsible for only 13%. The 87% is actually Joe's responsibility.
Exactly right.
So I would like them to come on this program, meet with you, and have a one-on-one. Would you do that?
I sure would. That'd be great.
That'd be good for the country to see that. You know, I just want you to know, I've watched your career. I've been a supporter of yours for a long time. Was very happy when you got reelected. You've done a phenomenal job, Governor. It's great to see you in studio. Please don't be a stranger. I know I wouldn't want to leave Texas and come here. But thank you for doing it, and maybe they'll accept this debate. So you challenge both of them to a debate.
Absolutely.
All right, Governor Greg Abbott. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.